Patrick, this is your first television interview since your illness.
I have no idea what I'm going to say.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at famous figures who gave interviews knowing they might not have much time left.
They look at you like you're dead man walking, basically.
Charlton Heston. Starring in classic films like Ben-Hur and Planet of the Apes, few actors dominated the screen like Charlton Heston.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
Even as he started taking fewer lead roles, Heston remained in the public eye with high-profile cameos, and as the president of the NRA, Heston permanently stepped away from the spotlight after announcing he had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in August 2002.
It is difficult to watch what age and Alzheimer's are doing to a man who's always appeared to be so strong.
In that December, Heston and his wife, Lydia Clark, welcomed journalist Peter Jennings into their home. Jennings could tell that the disease was already affecting the aging Heston, who struggled to remember things. Despite putting on a brave face, Heston suspected he would be afraid as his condition inevitably worsened.
I don't mean for a second, Charlton, to impose my own emotions on you, but I think I'd really be afraid.
I probably will be afraid too when it gets closer, but I don't feel those things.
This would be Heston's final televised interview before his passing in April 2008. Alex Trebek. It was impossible to imagine Jeopardy without Alex Trebek for over 35 years.
Here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Thank you, Johnny Gilbert, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome everyone.
While the long-running game show could last forever, it became clear in 2019 that Trebek's phenomenal tenure would soon end. The TV legend was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Seeking treatment, Trebek remained committed to his Jeopardy duties.
I plan to beat the low survival rate statistics for this disease. Truth told, I have to, because under the terms of my contract, I have to host Jeopardy for 3 more years. So help me. Keep the faith, and we'll win.
All the while, Trebek opened up about his illness in several interviews. Trebek maintained an optimistic attitude, expressing an eagerness to return to the Jeopardy set. At the same time, Trebek didn't sugarcoat his condition, saying that he wasn't afraid to die.
One thing they're not going to say at my funeral as a part of a eulogy, he was taken from us too soon. I'm 79 years old, so hey, I've lived a good life, a full life, and I'm nearing the end of that life. I know that. I'm not going to delude myself. So if it happens, it happens.
Between interviews, Trebek balanced work and treatment for 20 months. Trebek shot his final Jeopardy episode in October 2020, passing away several days later. John McCain. This Arizona senator overcame cancer in the past, yet nothing could prepare him for July 2017. After doctors discovered a blood clot over his left eye, McCain was rushed into surgery.
This morning, a giant of the Senate is battling brain cancer. Senator John McCain is recovering at home in Arizona after having surgery last Friday to remove a blood clot above his left eye. Further tests, his doctors say, revealed a tumor.
Weeks after being diagnosed with glioblastoma, a form of brain cancer, McCain returned to the Senate, where he helped preserve the Affordable Care Act. While McCain had a fighting spirit, treatment wouldn't buy him much more than another year or so. That September, McCain and wife, Cindy Hensley, sat down with Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes at their ranch.
I was driving up here, and I got about 2/3 of the way up, and my doctor called and said, "You got to come back." And I said, "Hey, today is Friday. I'll just come in on Monday." And she said, "No, you have to come now. It's very serious."
In addition to discussing Donald Trump's presidency, McCain talked about his health and the legacy he hoped to leave behind. 60 Minutes revisited the interview in August 2018, following the former Republican presidential nominee's death.
I have feelings sometimes of fear of what happens. But as soon as I get that, I say, wait a minute. You've been around a long time, old man. You've had a great life. You've had a great experience.
Steve Jobs. In January 2006, Steve Jobs shared a close-knit secret with Disney CEO Bob Iger. His cancer was back. While Jobs was committed to seeing his son graduate high school, he knew he'd be lucky to survive that long. While Jobs didn't regularly make public appearances, he was still the face of Apple. Over the following years, Jobs promoted the iPhone as the game changer it was in presentations and interviews.
We think what we've done is to reinvent the phone. and completely change what your expectations are going to be for what you can carry in your pocket.
In 2010, Jobs gave one of his final interviews at the D8 conference, comparing PCs to trucks and Apple products to cars. Although Jobs filled the room with charisma, speculations concerning his health continued to grow. It nonetheless came as a shock when Jobs announced his resignation in August 2011, only 2 months before dying.
A giant in business, technology, and entertainment, Steve Jobs had been battling pancreatic cancer for 8 years.
Anthony Perkins. In September 1992, Anthony Perkins passed away due to age-related complications. The actor, best known for playing Norman Bates, had been privately seeking treatment over the past 2 years, only recently announcing his condition to the public.
How would you define the Tony Perkins persona?
Well, it changed in 1960 with Psycho. With Psycho, suddenly I'd abandoned being the young leading man and became the slightly quirky, slightly nervous, tick-ridden juvenile.
A month after Perkins died, AMC aired what turned out to be his last interview with film professor Richard Brown. Perkins reflected on his work in films like Desire Under the Elms, Friendly Persuasion, and of course, Psycho.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
The focus remained on Perkins' career and the craft of acting. As the interview concluded, though, Perkins mentioned how lucky he felt to still be alive and working. While Perkins appeared hopeful about the future, his illness soon took its toll. This retrospective interview thus served as a bittersweet farewell.
The fact that I'm still working, still alive, and still productive means more to me than anything.
Patrick Swayze, the star of Dirty Dancing and Ghost, was in the middle of filming the show The Beast upon learning that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
I need this envelope delivered to that exact address at 1400 sharp. You got it?
What is it?
It's an envelope.
Swayze finished his work on the season while undergoing treatment. He also found the strength to speak with Barbara Walters. With his wife Lisa Niemi by his side, Swayze expressed gratitude to those who had sent letters of support.
The outpouring of love has constantly astounded me.
These letters and the kind of genuine love and support without expecting anything in return has personally restored my faith in what people are made of.
Swayze was grateful that he had made it through 10 months of treatment, confident he could keep going. Even so, Swayze knew his time was limited. Best case scenario, Swayze thought he'd live another 5 years, although he felt 2 was more realistic. Unfortunately, it was even less. Swayze died in September 2009, 9 months after the interview aired.
Last month, Patrick and his doctors decided to discontinue treatment. Anything that could be done had been tried. His last days were spent at home in his ranch, resting without pain.
Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick Boseman found out he had stage 3 colon cancer in 2016. Over the next 4 years, he turned Black Panther into a universal icon.
My king.
Stop it. Stop it.
Beyond the MCU, Boseman appeared in several other projects while privately enduring chemo and surgeries. Making Boseman's accomplishments all the more heroic, he never showed any signs of declining health in interviews. Watching Boseman laugh alongside late-night hosts, he seemed like an actor with a long career ahead.
It feels like it's been going on for longer than that, but yeah, you're right. It's been a crazy ride.
As his cancer advanced to stage 4, though, Boseman's life was cut tragically short. During a 2018 interview, Boseman tearfully mentioned 2 terminally ill children determined to live long enough to see Black Panther.
And so it put me back in the mind of being a kid, just to experience those 2 little boys, anticipation of this movie. And when I found out that
This interview is even more emotional, knowing Boseman's secret struggles and how his legacy continues to inspire. Olivia Newton-John. After surviving 2 previous experiences with cancer, Olivia Newton-John faced another round in 2017. The Grease star appeared resilient as she addressed her cancer's return during interviews with 60 Minutes Australia and The Today Show.
How is it the second time around different for you?
I think it's not as frightening. You know, I've had a wonderful life, and so I'm not as freaked out as I was when I had a young child.
Discussing treatment, Newton-John seemed assured she could overcome cancer again. Throughout the next 5 years, Newton-John gave updates about her life and health in several interviews. While Newton-John always sounded upbeat, she revealed in a 2021 interview with Extra that her cancer hadn't gone away.
I don't know that I'm cancer-free, but I am stable and feeling well, and so I feel very fortunate.
In February 2022, Newton-John spoke with Direct Talk, saying that her favorite expression was, "This too will pass." It would sadly be a parting message, as Newton-John passed away that August. Yet, her contributions to breast cancer research are still making a difference.
Life is never the same. We're moving and changing all the time. You just got to go with the flow. If you can, don't resist because it'll take you down.
Karen Black. Many celebrities have given interviews knowing it might be their last, but few have taken an approach quite like Karen Black.
Speak to me a little bit more about when you read those posts from anonymous people touched by your music and your essence, what it did for you, how it made you feel. Hopeful.
The Oscar-nominated actress received her ampullary cancer diagnosis in November 2010. Having part of her pancreas removed, Black lost a significant amount of weight and struggled to get out of bed. As her condition worsened, Black decided that she wanted to document the final stages of her life.
There's nothing that blocks me from loving my fellow man, from feeling close to my fellow man, and knowing, I've always known this.
According to journalist Elliot Mintz, Black contacted him about a month before her passing in August 2013. At a request, Mintz interviewed Black from her hospital bed. The two talked about her life and career, as well as their friendship. Years later, Mintz reflected that nothing in his broadcast life had prepared him for that conversation.
Are you afraid to die?
Yes, I am. But, not so much. Kind of on and off.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Shannon Doherty. Shannon Doherty had a history of medical issues, including a bout with stage 3 breast cancer in 2015.
What was about a year and a half ago, you said that you were in remission, so
Yes.
how's everything going?
Everything's going really well. I mean, you know, you hear the word remission.
I know.
It's a rush of different emotions, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, what's next? There's a little bit of fear and apprehension.
Although Doherty entered remission in 2017, the cancer eventually returned and advanced to stage 4. After initially keeping her diagnosis private, Doherty shared her harrowing experience in an ABC interview.
This is a much more difficult one to deal with. I'm grappling. I haven't found my path and my peace.
By 2023, the cancer spread to her brain and bones. The writing was on the wall, but Doherty didn't give up on treatment. In another ABC interview, Doherty provided an update on her condition and talked about her podcast, Let's Be Clear. Through this memoir of sorts, Doherty shared insight into her career and cancer. She also found time to answer questions from fans. Doherty continued to record the podcast regularly until her death in July 2024.
The actress rose to fame for her roles on Beverly Hills 90210 and Charmed, and was so open about her valiant fight with cancer for nearly a decade. She passed away at the age of 53.
Which interview gives you chills just thinking about it? Let us know in the comments.
Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.